What's going on, everyone? Happy New Year. Welcome to 2022. We are starting to do some things differently this year. Hopefully you can hear me and hopefully you can see me. If you can, let me go into the chat. Give me a "I'm here live" or "I can hear you" so that I know you're with me. Maybe there is a little bit of a delay. That's cool. But 2022, we've got some new plans for you. We want to beef things up for you. We want to make sure that we are serving at the highest level for you. And that's not just giving away free information, it's really giving you a preview of what is like to work with us, but also how can we best serve you in your coaching career? How can we best serve you in your business? How can we make sure that you get your goals and hit up your, let me put that on pause, get your goals and live the life that you really want. So we have every single week something special coming for you. And everything is going to be tested, proven, ways that we really expand our business, grow our business, think about things a little bit differently, to troubleshoot things, because nothing's always perfect. So one of the things that we've noticed, obviously, in this space is there's really one skill that really can change the trajectory of how you are perceived by the market, and also on top of that, who you attract into your tribe. And there's one skill that really does that, and that skill is your messaging, whether that is using video like we're using right now or written. The message is what really makes the difference between bringing the right people or the wrong people, and also what makes the difference between succeeding at a high level and getting people attached to you, part of your community, versus people who kind of ignore you. Okay, so I put together a little bit of a slide deck for you all today. Let me get rid of this and change this up. Hold on. There we go. All right. So I got a little bit of a slide deck. I know, I don't usually use slides, but I want to make sure that this is like really powerful for you and you get the most out of this, okay? And I'm going to try to keep these trainings relatively short, just so that you get like power-packed information. We do have a worksheet that you can get. If you just put in the comments worksheet, we will go ahead and Andrea will send you a worksheet that will help you with these writing exercises that we have, okay? So when it comes down to it, today's agenda is, after today, you will have the clarity and confidence to create content. You will have ideas flowing for you to create content, either in written or video form. You will feel empowered to look at content differently so that you can easily see what has worked and what hasn't. All right? But what I need from you is I need a promise, okay? I want you to promise that if I'm going to share these principles with you freely, I want you to promise that you're going to use them and then share with us how the results went, all right? Now, these are principles that I have used to do over $24 million in sales in written form. I've been writing copy for 10 plus years and have no professional education with it. It's all organic. I've sent an average of 8 million emails per month, sometimes up to 12 million emails per month. That's over 100 million emails per year. Been doing this for like 10 years. And we've done just over $25 million directly with our campaigns through email specifically, which is more about writing word, okay? So it's all about the copy that we use and the messaging that we have. I'm gonna make my thing a little bit smaller so you can see. If you can see this real fast, this is my last 7 days of our email stats. I've sent 1.6 million emails with a 45% open rate. That's 700,000 people have opened. Out of the 700,000, almost 16,000 people have clicked on our emails. And just a stat, we've done just over $24 million in sales, $24.5 million in sales. And again, this is just our email writing stats. So I feel like I have a pretty good inclination of what works and what doesn't. And I use these principles that I'm about to share with you that make it really easy. Because for me, I like things that are simple. I don't like things that are complicated. And usually what I find is it works much better. Okay? So when you don't have your messaging on point, you actually find that you're getting ignored by the right people. You put time and energy into everything that you're doing when it comes to talking to your prospects, and it feels like you are trying to find a needle in a haystack, meaning that most of the time, the right people are not coming to you. You're getting a lot of the wrong people, and it's like the norm is not the right people, it's the wrong people. You have the wrong audience that you've built. You finally get some engagement with what you're doing. You post something, you get some engagement, and it's the wrong people. You've created an audience of the wrong people because the message is flat or the message is wrong. And the ideal clients, when you get this right, become the norm. Meaning that instead of having the wrong people engage with you, you have the right people engage with you. So how can you get your ideal clients to become the norm, not the expectation? And today you need what we call a right message. So the right message comes with getting the right market. And it's a combination between two things. Knowing the right person, like who are you talking to, and having the right message for that person. You need both, because here's the deal. If you have the right people, but you have the wrong message, you'll get ignored. If you have the right message, but you have the wrong people, you're not going to get the right people into your pipeline. So you need both. So I have 4 principles for you today to help you with your magnetic messaging. These are principles that you can use, and I want you to be thinking about these principles of what you can do to really help yourself get creative of what you need to do here. So when it comes down to it, move this over. When it comes down to it, we need to start with one and only one. What does that mean? Like, what does that mean, Jesse? What that means is that most people are writing copy for a group of people. There's different identities in that group. There's different people in that group. There's different topics in that group. I was just putting together a worksheet. I was talking about the different levels of a niche. Level 1 niche is health. Level 2 niche is weight loss. Level 3 niche is going to be weight loss for women. Level 4 niche is going to be weight loss for women who just had a baby. Can you see that talking to all 4 of those different groups would be different? Why? Because they're in different places, different experiences. They're going through different parts of life. They're experiencing things differently. So if you are like talking to people in a group like weight loss for women, just for an example, that is going to be very generic type copy. You're going to get a lot of different women who are all trying to lose weight loss in different situations. There might be obese women. There might be fit women who just want to get really toned for like a weightlifting. There might be women who just had a baby. There might be women who are older or younger. There's a whole group of people here. Now, if you only want to work with one group of those, but you're talking to all of them, you can see how the message is going to be an issue of getting the wrong people. So we have to start with one and only one person. Means one problem who wants one outcome. One person who has one problem who has wants one outcome. Okay? So if you are not getting the response you want, it's because most likely you're talking to too many different people. You're talking to too many different people. And so you need to pick one. Pick one. And here's the deal. You're not permanently attached to this one person. You start with one and you organically start to broaden as you get bigger and you get more traction. Okay? So you start with one. Number 2, you have to know their state. Okay? There's 2 types of states when it comes down to it. 2 types of states. One state is their current state. What are they currently going through? What does that mean, their current state? What are they currently going through? Well, their current state equals their past experiences and their present experiences and what has created this current state that they're in. What are they frustrated with? What are they having problems with? What are they having? What are the pains in their life? What are the experiences that they're having? What state are they currently in? Are they in chaotic state? Are they in frantic state? Are they in an empowered state? What state are they in? The second state is, what state do they want to get to? What's the future state? What does that look like? Think about experiences. What if they actually nail this for the first time? So if I was talking about the experience of messaging, I was talking about what that actually looks like and feels like, which we can get to in a second with a tangible example. But if I was going to jump ahead here, I could say the current state is you work for 45 minutes. You put together a piece of content. You think it's really rock solid. You put it out there and nothing happens. That's the current state. The future state would be you work for 45 minutes. You have fun doing it. It's enjoyable for the first time and it feels like ideas are just flowing. And then what happens? You put it out there and all of a sudden within 5 minutes you have 20 comments of people saying, I want more information. That is a future state. That's a future state of what they want. That's what they desire. So knowing the state that they're in and knowing the state that they want to get to is going to make your messaging so much stronger. You can also think about this as the before and after, right? Before your solution, they are getting these types of results. They are experiencing these types of things. After you give them your frameworks, your methods, your processes, your teaching, your value, they get these types of results, these types of things. It's kind of the opposite. But we got to know the state that they're currently in, what they're experiencing, the frustrations, and also we want to know where they want to go. And we bridge that with our process, our method, our story, our character, our solution. Okay? Knowing their state. Number 3. I keep going in the middle. Okay, here we go. Number 3, the outside-in method. The outside-in method. This is like a really cute dog, right? The outside-in method. What does that even mean? Outside in. So most people, when they talk about feelings. All right, you feel really insecure when you're doing this. You start with the feelings. It's always most people when they're talking and they're messaging start with the feelings. That is the incorrect way that we start our messaging. When people can't visualize, like when we're talking about any type of messaging, the goal is to get people to visualize what you are talking about, okay? And so if you're talking about a feeling, most people can't visualize that because it's not tangible. Confidence is not tangible. Angry is not tangible, right? It's just a feeling. It's a state. So when we talk about creating these feelings of like what that feeling is, it's important to do, but we have to use what we call the outside-in method. The outside-in method basically means that you start with something tangible, which we're going to talk about in a second, and then you go with the feeling. You start with the external and then go with the internal. You start with something that is real on the outside that makes them feel state-wise on the inside. So they do something which then creates the state that they're in. Hopefully that makes sense. Give me a yes in the chat if that makes sense. So you start with something tangible, something that they're experiencing, something that they're going through on a daily life, and then it makes them feel a certain way. So I'll use a mom example, right? Okay. So you have your kids. You feel like you go to work and you leave in the morning. You go and you rush and you leave in the morning, and when you check the monitor and you see that the housekeeper or the nanny is playing with the kid and the kid takes their first step, you feel the mom guilt. So there is this external process that then creates the internal process. This is what makes copy so much stronger. This is what makes messaging so much stronger. Is start with, because now you can visualize for the first time what that experience is like and now what that feeling is like. If I just said you get mom guilt, that feeling can be a million different ways. So, and again, I'm just using an example here, okay? So the outside in method is how we want to use our messaging. And then finally, we want to make it tangible. And I've been talking about this quite a bit. You got to make it real. Most people, the reason why their messaging falls flat is because they're not talking about anything real. Like, become financially free. That has a million different things attached to it, right? What does financial freedom do for them? What is the act of financial freedom? What is the act of having more intimacy? What is the act of having a better relationship? What is the act of making more sales? What is the act? Like, what are the things that are actually going to help us? So make it tangible, make it real. The way you make it real is simply by saying, can I touch this? Can I feel it? Can I point at it? Okay? I can't point at more sales. What I can point at is at email notifications bringing in lots of sales. See the difference? So I can't point at more confidence, but I can point at myself speaking to a group of people with confidence. I can't point at a better relationship. I can point at coming home and my wife jumping on me, we're making out and feeling all the gushy fun stuff. That's what I can point at. That's what's real. That's what's going to make your copy and your messaging so much better. So when it comes down to it, there's a worksheet that we have for you that you're more than welcome to ask us for. We're freely giving it. It's called the bullet writing worksheet. Now, bullets are great ways to just put little pointers to help people visualize what you're doing. And so this is going to help probe you and think about, again, what it's going to help you do to write better copy. And you can use this in many different ways. So when you think about writing your next piece of copy, I want you to think about, who is this for? What do they want? What do they want? Oh, what do they want and what do they currently have? So what do they want and what don't they currently have? Sorry. So what do they want and what don't they currently have? What are they trying and not getting, trying and not achieving, and how does it make them feel? And how can you make a specific example, story, experience, or situation? Okay? So I want you to think about these questions. Who is this for? What do they want? And what do they want? Future. What don't they currently have? What are they doing and trying and what are they feeling? Okay? How can you make a specific example, story, or experience from your own or a client or something that you've experienced in your life? Okay? So if you want the worksheet, all you need to do is comment the word bullets beneath. We will send you the worksheet. It's going to come from Andrea, not from myself. She's going to give you the worksheet. You can use the worksheet and you can test your copy. I would love to see how this works for you. Think about this when you're writing your next piece of content. Take 5 minutes, answer those questions, write in a couple exercises of what are they currently experiencing, what do they want, create a story about how this method, process, or what you do solves that, and you'll go from there. All right? Thank you for tuning in for this week's training. I want to make them short, simple, and to the point. Hope you had an amazing new year and lots of more amazing fun stuff to come next week. All right, stick soon. Bye for now and talk to you later. Bye-bye.